Welcome back to the Cozy Cottage Homestead. Gonna try something different today. Gonna take y'all on some of these old backcountry roads. We have a little rainstorm today, and as you can tell, there's a little bit of a log in the road here that we can definitely get around it. We are on our way to our local wildlife management area to do some foraging for some wild herbs and some nuts, actually acorns. Figured it would be a good time to go. The wind has been blowing like crazy, so I know the acorns will probably be blown out of the tree. And as you can tell, it looks like it's a really cold day here in Louisiana, but it's only about 75 degrees. It looks like it should be a lot colder than what it is. This is just a little backcountry road that we take pretty often to go to town. You can see some of the leaves are changing colors, but it's not near as scenic as it is up north. But this is what we have here in South Louisiana. And of course, you gotta love the potholes. They're all over the place. The part of Louisiana that I live in is really North Louisiana. It's not known as North Louisiana, but it is north of Southeast Louisiana. It's like another country. It's very hilly, very rural. It makes you think maybe you're actually in Mississippi. Not a lot of swampland. There is some this far out, but not a whole lot. And this is the little road that we're on is called a cut-through road, and this cut-through road is about 5 miles long. So if we tell you out here in the country you got to go around the block, that block will be about 15 to 20 miles if you go around the block out here in the country. A lot of planted pine trees out here. They do a lot of harvesting of pine trees in this area. There's also a hunting club right here on both sides of the road. Some of the property is getting sold off. Still lots of rural property out here though where we're at. Up here to the right is a little country church. Very small little organization, a little Baptist church. We used to go there years ago. A lot of cow pastures and dairy farms out here on the right. Now we're back up on the main highway. This is the other side of the large dairy farm that's out here. Now we're back on another little country road that's going to lead us to the wildlife management area in our not too far from our home. It's probably about 8 miles, which is really pretty close. And y'all see that sign right there. It says bump ahead. there is a big old bump right up here. This first little sign here to the right is where the beginning of the wildlife management area starts. There's the little checkpoint where you sign in at. This property up here to the left is another large dairy farm. Actually, it was the first place that my son got a job at, milking cows. He was only 14 years old, and I think he was actually 13, but we would let him drive the 7 miles from our home to the dairy farm. He was that responsible of a young man. Of course, he did not have a driver's license. He called me when he got there, and he called me when he got home. So this was his first little job at a dairy farm. See if I can move the camera around. This was the owners and their nice farm that they have. Very cute rural country area. This is the entry gate to their property. They have since closed the dairy farm down due to old age, so they were not able to keep going with it. They retired when they were in their 80s. And of course it's raining a little harder now, so I can't really cut the noisy wipers off. But this is all hunting on both sides of the wildlife management area. Very rural out here. I don't think we've passed a car since we've left our home. Good things. I'm not doing the best at this driving, so I want to stop and look, see if I see any deer running around. So I guess it's a good thing. It's pretty rural. People be blowing the horn at me. And I would say, like my grandpa would say, what of it? Very hilly in this area. Most people that actually live in Louisiana don't even know that it's this rural out here in the country. This part of Louisiana is very hilly. Some of our neighbors out here call it God's country out here. It's kind of like hidden part of Louisiana. Now we're at the check-in point of the wildlife management area, and I see there are a few other people out here camping. Sometimes they have educational classes and stuff out here for the youth, and they have the youth hunt coming up pretty soon. I think right now it's archery hunting season, so there's just no telling. It looks like there's one of our local colleges, the LSU, probably doing a science experiment or something, or just doing a class on wildlife at the management area. So we'll have to go ahead and get checked in, and we'll be right back. Okay, we have some campers out here. I'm not sure who this is camping here, but they have a couple of campsites set up. I don't know if it's Boy Scouts or what. So we have our orange on because it is hunting season. And we're going to walk around back here in the back past all these little camps and go check out the pond. It's not very big, but it's a pond. Memories of fishing there with my son and some of the foster kids, and we have brought the Cub Scouts out here before and the Boy Scouts camping. So we'll just go check it out. Everyone keeps showing pictures of the Mississippi River in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, how it's drying up. So So I was curious to see if this pond out here still had water in it. There are a few creeks on the wildlife management area where the deer come and drink water. And there's also a couple of swampy areas where they can drink water. But this is a spot where the deer will come to get water when it's so dry and hot. Because like I said, it's 75 degrees today and it's almost November. Well, the pond is definitely not dried up here at the wildlife management area. This is also a very fun place to bring horses and get a bunch of people together and go trail riding. Of course, it's not safe during hunting season, but off season it's a great outlet if you are close to a wildlife management area to go forage for herbs and nuts and do a little fishing, do a little camping. See, there's still lots of frugal, almost cheap things that you can do. It's still trying to sprinkle a little bit, but we're still out on a little adventure. Thought we'd take y'all along with us. I don't know if any of y'all have ever been jug fishing, but jug fishing in ponds is a really fun thing to do with the kids. Get a milk jug, tie a string on it, put some bait on it, put a hook on it, and drop the jug in there. You can have a tie-off string that you stake off to the side of the bank. If not, you just have to have a P-row or a little flat bottom boat, so when that jug takes off, you know you got a bass on it. It's a lot of fun to chase that jug around on top of the pond, finding you a fish. Very easy way to catch fish. Lots of fun memories with the kids and the foster kids and my son. They've caught lots of big bass. And when we were kids, my brother went to this deserted pond in the woods and set out a jug and didn't think there was no fish in there whatsoever. Well, back then, I think he was like around 10. He had caught the biggest, largest bass he had ever seen in his life. This thing was about 4 pounds, living in this tiny little ponds in some woods back behind some of our neighbors' houses. I remember that like it was yesterday. He was so excited that he caught that big old bass jug fishing. This is just another trail on the other side of the pond. They have trails all over the places on this wildlife management area. We're not allowed to bring ATVs in here, thanks to all the, I wouldn't just say young folks, crazy folks that don't know how to respect the land. So they just don't allow it at all. Now, if you are handicap hunter, they will let you bring your ATV in here to go pick up your hunt, your kill, your deer, whatever. But makes for a lot of good walking, hiking trails. Like I said, you can ride horses in here for days. So it's a good place to go ride horses and just a good place to go hiking. Trying to show y'all the terrain. See, we're up on a hill right now. It's not just flat land up here in Louisiana where we're at. Lots of hills, lots of ravines. I think this is the first rain that we've gotten in about 5 weeks. So it's been pretty dry. Definitely welcomed to see the rain all over. Definitely was dry. We needed a good rain. like a new trail that they've cut through the wood. I'm looking for deer tracks, looking for herbs. It's a little muddy, you have to be careful walking around. So this weed right here is a weed. I like to call them lightning rods. It's not lightning rods, it's called goldenrod. It's a good herb that is good for your kidneys, urinary tract infection, kidney infection, bladder infection. It's good for inflammation. If you have problems with arthritis, gout, it's good for all of those. And you would just save the tops. I've seen a few people already make videos. I was a little late on it because I was sick. But you would save the tops and make a tincture with that. And then you would just save these leaves and dehydrate them and use them for an herbal tea. So it just looks like an old weed. And the difference in the goldenrod and what people think of as just a what they call it, or ragweed, is these actually produce nectar, and the ragweeds do not produce nectar. So the bees like to come and enjoy these as a snack too, to get all the nectar out of them. So it's good to know your wild herbs and wild weeds. There's lots of healing properties in the goldenrod. I did not make me none yet, but I will be collecting some before we leave to make me a tincture, to have me a small batch of tincture on hand. This dirt is really soft, so I know they just cut this trail pretty soon. It ain't been too long they've been cut it. It's definitely slippery. I have to be extremely careful because I will definitely hurt myself. So I don't think we're going to go any further. But this is a field as far as you can see in any given direction. It's kind of growed up, so you can't really see a lot of it. And this is kind of up on a hill on this side, going down towards the bottom where the pond was, where we were just at. The pine tomatoes, and talk about those for a minute. And I see lots of fresh pine needles out here. If you haven't checked out one of my videos from the beginning of my channel, there is a video on the health benefits of pine needle tea. It is actually an herb, can be used as an herb. It helps with a lot of cold and flu symptoms. It actually has more vitamin C in this than your green teas and even your lemons. So you can also collect the pine needles, and you would just gather up a handful of them. Set these in some boiling hot water. Do not boil them in the water. You want to have these in the pot and then put the boiling hot water on top of them and let them steep for about 10 minutes. And this to me is like Christmas in a mug. You'll have to go back and check out that video of the pine needle tea. Another real good one, and it's plentiful, ready to be used all over the United States. Especially here in the South, we have lots of pine trees, so we have pine needles. And there's also some really neat crafts that you can make with pine needles. I may do that this fall if I get the feeling better. Okay, this is the pine needles that I just showed you, the short ones. Now let me show you how long the long needle pines are. These are the ones that I would need to make my crafts with. You can see the difference. These are about 4 to 5 inches, and these are about 12 inches. I'm guessing probably at least 12 inches long. These are the ones you want to make the crafts. There's actually a weave that you can do to make a basket, and I made my sister and a couple other people some gifts with the pine needle craft. But this is the long pine needles that we have, and this is the short. Hey, we hope y'all have enjoyed the little tour of our wildlife management area. Um, we're going to do some more footage of gathering some acorns for a video that's going to be coming up pretty soon. So farewell, Homestead family, friends, and neighbors from the Cozy Cottage Homestead.